Well, you know, 9 the UnderDog God. The album came about, I just got tired of being the underdog. I got tired of motherfuckers doubting me, motherfuckers telling me my lane, what I could do, what I couldn't do. So I hooked up with my boy Big Sono, and I met Big Sono through a brother named Dr. Pooch, hustling my DVDs out in the street on Sunset. And I remember getting a CD called Bullseye. And it took me about 2 months to listen to it. But when I listened to it, I'm like, oh man, this motherfucker's hard. Like, who's making his tracks? Like, this shit is crazy. So Dr. Pooch introduced me to Big Sono, and I found out that he was his producer and a rapper. And this is like 2009. So I built a relationship with him all the way to about 2016. After I dropped UnderDog, basically he invited me over and said, you know, he went through his MPC and said, pick what you want. He just kept pressing play on every beat. So I picked what I thought was the hardest shit in his MPC, because he gave me access. You know, he had produced Now She Gone on UnderDog, but I kind of just jacked that beat from the SoundCloud. I didn't even ask no permission. I just jacked the beat, wrote a song, did it, let him hear it, and threw it on my album. It wasn't really, the nigga wasn't finna tell me no. I was just that ambitious about it.
Pretty brown, pretty smile, yeah, she all of that. Saw from the back, almost had a heart attack. Met a million girls, but never met a girl this fly. Said she had an account that matched those eyes. I'm all direct, no thirst, speak little to no words, just putting work like verbs, earning potential of nerds. Was cold-blooded, all the girls loved it. Something about it was special, a crown queen from a vessel. Give me your shovel, I'm digging it. Wanna make it a missus, step away from being ignorant. That's when the karma kick in. What's the price for all the abortions, broken hearts, extortions?
2016, I started writing to the track sometime around 2017. And, you know, it was just this overflow of real emotions and thoughts and childhood and, you know, ups and downs, triumphs, failures that I was going through, and I was kind of coming out of it. You know, UnderDog is when I was in it, and this album is like, I'm coming out of it, I can see clear, I'm doing better, I'm up. You know, people who doubted me, they kind of looking at me like, damn, I should have doubted this nigga. But it was too late. So that's the energy I went into it with this album. And all the experiences I would go through, I would kind of put that into music, like the record Stay Away From Me. That's actually real. It's like niggas trying to take props for my credentials, shit that I created. They're just trying to just move me out the way and act like they created it. You know, I don't have time for that type of shit. So that's where a record like that came from. It made me go through my childhood. And yeah, the album came about basically through trials and tribulations, mostly failures, because all my life I've mostly failed to learn, you know, to where I'm at now, you know what I'm saying? Finally, like, got over the hill, like, okay, this is how you do it. This is the proper way to do it. This is the proper way to express yourself. This is the proper way to record, because if y'all didn't know, I record, I mix and master my own shit. It ain't nobody behind me pretty much saying, hey, rap it like this, or I think this will sound good like that. It's like all me, but it took my whole life to birth a project like this.
Get with me on potential, huh? Treat me like a rental. You could kick rocks, stones, bruh. I don't need you stay the fuck away from me. Stay the fuck away from me. I don't need you stay the fuck away from me. I don't need you stay the fuck away from me. Fucking with me on potential, huh? Treat me like a rental. You could kick rocks, stones, bruh. I don't need you stay the fuck away from me. Stay the fuck away from me. I don't need you stay the fuck away from me. Stay the fuck away from me. I don't need you stay the fuck away from me. Inner peace, so I don't send you back to Jesus. I'm living out my seasons, go accomplish an achievement. I'm doing better than I ever been. Don't need medicine or reverend. Got my brethren, and you still a fraud. Why do you irrelevant?
So, you know, shout out to Big Sono for being the only producer who really believed in me to give me all his tracks. That's why I rapped over mostly his tracks, except for Green, which is produced by Pete Dog, Maurice White.
Kill the revolution, you too black in your movement. Black people saying this shit, nigga, you cooning. Black man replaced in commercials and movies. I hated Black Panther cause it hated my views. Disrespectful, you think niggas just hoop? Hit him with a twisted T to unravel the truth. Bad winch, bad buck all over the tube. Voted for white supremacy, nigga, you lose.
This is what I feel about today's music. Honestly, I don't really listen to today's music except for a few artists that I might listen to here and there. I'm not really a big radio person unless I'm, out in traffic, going to work or somewhere. I might listen to the radio, but other than that, I'm a podcast dude. So I don't really have no opinion on the music, but I know there's no variety, a variety that I would want to see. Even the so-called conscious rappers are gangster. Like, they're all either claiming something or not fully comfortable being like, I'm conscious, I'm standing on this 10 toes down. They still got to talk about, I kind of sold some dope here and there. I kind of did something to make them look cool. They think that shit makes them look cool when, my nigga, if you ain't never been to prison or jail or been in a jail riot, don't even talk about that shit. The gangster shit is reserved to the gangsters. And I never wanted to step on gangster toes because I grew up around them, very well affiliated and knowing the gang culture. I'm not a gang member, never grew up a gang member, so I wouldn't even touch that type of music. So the music I choose to make would be like an alternative, whereas, life lessons, upliftment, and it can kind of give you a more positive outlook. But everybody that's doing their music nowadays, man, do your shit. I ain't tripping. My earliest memory was on Anzac and 103rd. That's in Watts. Probably from my inception to about 5 or 6, I stayed there. Then Inglewood on Tamarack. Then back to Broadway and 112th, where I spent my formal years from like 8 to 14. And then from 14 until I graduated high school, I stayed in Culver City, the Culver City Project. But where I get all my life lessons from, I would say would be when I stayed on Broadway in 112th, because, I was surrounded by the gang life. The gangsters was hella cool because me and my brothers, we sold candy, they danced and rapped, and only had to fight when I first moved there because all the kids, they was little Broadways and shit. And of course they had to test me. They was like, oh, this nigga from Inglewood, he must be a West Side. And I'm like, nigga, I'm really from Watts. So you can't explain that shit. You don't really know how to explain that when you 8. So you just, the gang members put us in an empty apartment, and I just had to get down with whoever they called up. Go get him, go get him. And once I did that, I proved myself to them where they was like, okay, he's not a mark. So we gonna stall him out, let him do what he want to do. So I had a lot of good mentors, I would say, from the Broadway set that actually looked out for me and my brothers. There wasn't no pressure, it was none of that, but I was surrounded by extreme gang life. Then going to Culver City, where you think shit is sweet, it's not sweet on the West Side. It was the Latino gang members in there, and they really don't even like black people, so I had to deal with that adversity. It was like being in 1966 and 1995. Like, you got niggers spray painted on the wall, because the Venice show lines in the Culver Cities, they kind of got into it, and they ran the Venice show lines out. Venice show lines is a black gang. So all the black families that was left in the projects, we was like food in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Luckily, my dad could speak Spanish, and he got an Olmec Latino background with his grandma. So, and one of the head gang members, he reminded him of his brother that he died or something like that. So that only went so far because I still got into him with a lot. But, it taught me a lot of lessons about, different cultures and how blacks, we pretty much in this motherfucker by ourselves. We ain't got no help, we ain't got no friends. Ain't nobody coming to save us. You gotta know how to put up your dukes, you know what I'm saying? And when they got knives to your neck and your belly, you give up what you got. It's that simple. You ain't trying to fight 2 motherfuckers with knives on you at 15. So, yeah, I grew up a little rough, I would say. You know what I'm saying? I can't really see no bright spots. I didn't come from like the suburbs or, a 2-parent household that was very functional. Nothing like that. I had 2 parents, but it was 100% dysfunction. But it was also a lot of life lessons. I was in the streets a lot. I was growing up fast, which was good for me because I can put that in rhymes and it helped me mature a lot faster. After high school, I went to the military. I did 4 years in the military, went to film school at 21. I shot Hood News, the popular documentary, at 25 through 25, 26. Finishing Hood News, I had put all my time and my resources into Hood News, so I lost my apartment. I went through a lot. That was like the downfall, my downfall. Like I was up for 8 years and then I hit my downfall off hustling Hood News, right? Because I wasn't bringing no money in, but I was so passionate about the project that I didn't pay none of my bills, honestly. So I went to go live with my mom and pop on Slauson and Renpaul. So they got their place there. That's when my father introduced me to a very young Nipsey Hussle.
What's happening, y'all? This your boy Nipsey Hussle. We right here live and direct on Slauson with the Slauson boy, fucking with the Hood News. How this shit on the streets?
When he talk about pulling up in the old school Oldsmobile, Regal, whatever he had, but it was brown. And he used to sell CDs and DVDs out the trunk. So my dad was like, Haze, with your film shit, you need to get with this young brother because he's a rapper. And I met him, start vibing, chilling with him every now and then, going up to the shop. It wasn't they didn't have a shop there, they would just be outside posted up. So that's what was my Slauson and Renpaul from like 26 to pretty much now, you know. So I pulled from, when I say Slauson and Renpaul, it was just, I was around Black Sam, I was around Nip, I was around that whole Crenshaw, Slauson, Leimert Park area, and I got them vibes of all that hustling that was going on. So that really showed me, like, I saw cats start in the streets, start in parking lots, to actually doing the BET Awards, actually going platinum in the streets, making movies. So Nipsey was that, what would you call it? It was just like, you knew that the shit wasn't a fairy tale because you can go touch him and know that, oh man, this dude didn't have to compromise nothing he did, and he just was himself and he made it all the way till we watching him on TV, we all rooting for him. Like this guy would be in my living room, I remember him selling DVDs and CDs out the trunk, regular cat, to where he is now. So, you know what I'm saying, that inspiration would constantly drive me. Even though he was a fan of Hood News at a young age, he would still inspire me and drive me like, this shit is real. I just gotta stay on my shit. You know, cause he got told no a million times. He got shut down, police raids, all that shit. I'm just getting told, no, I'm not going through that much adversity, so if I continue and keep going, I could make something out of myself too in this film music game. So that's what I'm talking about, Slauson and Renpaul, that whole movement. I was part of that energy. And then when I talk about 92nd, that's when I stayed with my boy Ja. Big Sono introduced me to Ja. When I had went through my bullshit, my breakup, I was homeless, I was fucked up in the streets. The first night I was sleeping in the park like, what the fuck am I doing? But anyway, I was in the fucking park, fucked up. So Sono introduced me to Ja. Ja gave me the back garage. That's where I initially first started recording, you know what I'm saying? So I had my whole setup back there, and he was a fan of Hood News. So when he met me, he was like, oh, give me your autograph, you Hassan. I'm giving him my autograph, and then the next sentence out of my mouth is, hey bro, I'm kind of fucked up. I need a place to stay, I'll pay you rent. And he was just like, cool, teach me how to do the film shit, I'll give you a place to stay. Fair exchange ain't no robbery. So I was in that motherfucker. I had a roof over my head. So that inspiration, and a lot of artists came through there. Zarian came through there. The brother Darren, guitar player, came through there. Jay Fifth came through there. Buddy Billion came through there. T Mizzle came through there. It was so many artists. Emerald Joy came through there. It was so many artists that would come through because he had like a safe haven for artists. You know, Ja's a super good brother. There ain't really many brothers like him left on this planet. So that's where the 92nd reference come from. So the compound, man, the compound was, I made Netzeroo Muses at the compound. Straight up, like, you know, Ja wasn't one of them people who just looking at you like, okay, nigga, it's time for you to go. I was there at Ja Spot for 3 years, I believe. 3 years, so, you know, it was like on Western and 92nd. You know what I'm saying? That's my second home. Sono lived down the street, so I was able to hook up with Sono, you know, as well. My bass player, Boosie, Joe Boosie, who played on One Love, he would come through the studio. So many people, Keenan came through the studio. I had so many people come through there. Like, Nick LaRue came through the compound. Nick LaRue, since she's been 18, 19 years old, came through the compound. She never sung for me though. Ain't that some weird shit? Like, Nick LaRue has this classic album out. I've known her all this time, and she would only come over to do film. Like, she wanted to do a vlog. She would do fashion vlogs because she's a model. I was a model. But she never sang shit. Like, I had a studio and all that. She never sang nothing, but Nick LaRue came through there. So, you know, shout out to Ja for even having the compound. He had a legendary spot, man. The compound is a legendary spot, and it gave me my start. It gave a lot of artists their start. People that's doing their thing right now all came through the compound. My creative process for the Fields was, I feel like nobody can knock me off my square of what I'm doing in my lane. They just can't, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, your comments, you know, that shit don't fade me at all, because I get my power from a higher source, from all my studying and meditating and trials and tribulations, actually living this shit out, not just reading some shit and doing something else, but actually trying to read it and live it out. You go through trials and tribulations. So, you know, I feel like I got the field and I got the field. So this is my time. It might have took forever for me to get here, but this is my time, so it ain't shit you can do about it. On church, liquor stores, Chinese food, that's from living in the hood. I've been in the hood my entire life, definitely by choice. I don't want to move out to the suburbs or the west side like that. So being in the hood, every now and then, I want something with some greens in it. You know, some food that's alive, that's gonna build my immune system. You can't find that in the hood unless you go to Simply Wholesome. There's maybe a few other spots, Stuff I Eat, a few other spots, but it's not many. What you do see a lot of is churches, liquor stores, and Chinese food. Chinese food, meaning Louisiana, you know, half chicken, half Chinese food. And that is, the Chinese even consider Chinese food the junk food of the Chinese. They don't even eat that shit. You go to 7-Eleven, there's nothing good to eat there. They might consider you some apples, bananas, and oranges. No, bro, no, everything is GMO. So when you only have fast food restaurants, you only have liquor stores, and you have these churches who won't even house homeless people, you have a lot of chaos and destruction in the streets. You wonder why you have this extreme chaos. Everybody's out of control in the hood. Everybody they're on a certain frequency and wave. You notice when you go into the west side meaning beach area, anything west of Wilshire, they don't have all that. They don't have all them liquor stores. They don't have all them churches. They don't have all them Chinese spots. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that. And the vibe is much lighter. There's not all that killing going on over there. Those people ain't killing each other, you know? So they give us the liquor stores and they give us the churches, because when you're in an economically deprived community, people are gonna automatically seek religion, or they're gonna go to drinking to cope. These are coping mechanisms. They don't teach us knowledge of self, and we don't teach each other knowledge of self, and we don't teach each other economic freedom, which are the coping mechanisms we should have. And by putting trash in our body that's not giving us any energy and rejuvenating us, then we're killing ourselves on the inside. That's why we have all these dialysis places popping up in the hood as well, because they're giving us the alcohol, they're giving us the GMO food, and then they're putting us on dialysis. So they just want us pretty much in the casket, in the grave. And we gotta be smarter than that to know, like, hey, you know, we gotta do for self. We need some juice bars. We need more Simply Wholesome, or we need to support Simply Wholesome until they franchise out. So church, liquor stores, Chinese food, that is my song and my plea to, you know, everybody needs to wake up. You know, athletes, stop selling our baby soda. Stop selling them sugar. Stop selling them diabetes. Stop selling them death. Rappers, stop selling your people all this alcohol. All y'all can do is sell, you know, niggerized ghetto bullshit back to your youth. You don't sell them nothing that they can use in their life. You either sell them alcohol, you're selling them a death sentence, or you're selling them a one-way ticket to the pen. So all that is what church, Chinese food, liquor stores is about.
Church, liquor store, Chinese food. Church, liquor store, Chinese food. Church, liquor store, Chinese food. 7-Eleven, no GMO foods. Church, liquor store, Chinese food. Church, liquor store, Chinese food. Church, liquor store, Chinese food. 7-Eleven, no GMO food.
I have a record on my album called Doing It featuring Nick LaRue. Doing It is a wide sonic record. It can be played anywhere. It's a very clean record, and the funny thing about it is, Doing It is actually the song that Nick LaRue showed me she could sing. I'd never heard her do music, and I remember she giving me a call saying she wanted to do some music, and I was just like, okay, come through the studio. I gave her the church, liquor stores, Chinese food beat, and she didn't like the beat. She passed on it, but then I had to do it record, and I knew I wanted a female feature for it. So I said, let me see what you can do to this. So that was actually Nick LaRue's first verse she ever recorded. Before her album, before anything, that was her first verse. And she didn't need to record it. She didn't need to do no ad-libs, no extra, nothing. You know, I just mixed it and mastered it the way it was, and it came out a banger. And the direction for the song was, you know, kind of get on your egotistical shit. You know, let them know, you know what I'm saying, who you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole synopsis of my album, standing on 10 toes. This is why this is who I am. This is why I'm this way. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted that record to be boastful. I wanted it to be proud. I wanted it to be a strong record. And she delivered like a mug. Like, she kills the first verse. So, you know, she did the first verse before I even wrote mine. So I was just like, okay. So I just went in my bag, and it just helped me get in my bag a little better to complete the record. So, Doing It, make sure y'all listen to Doing It, you know what I'm saying? All y'all ladies, y'all gonna love it. All the brothers gonna love it too. You gonna love the whole fucking album. That's a fact. The Other America is a powerful song, you know? Like, I got the concept from the song listening to Dr. King's speech, The Other America. It's a 45-minute speech. You're able to listen to it on YouTube. And he just speaking that real shit that resonate to today. Like, it's really going on. I just got away from roaches, you know? And he's talking about people living with roaches and rats back in the 60s and how there needs to be better housing for people in California. He mentions California out of all places. So I'm like, damn, we been fucked up. Okay, so that speech just hit me. I listened to it about 4 or 5 times, and then, you know, once again, one of the beats I had from Sono, I heard it. I said, okay, let me take some of this King and put some of this King here, and then the verses I already had, I started writing the verses during the time when it was the George Floyd uprising, and, you know, people getting beat in the street, shot with these fucking beanbag guns, shot with real guns, white supremacists out in the street, helping the police kill black people and Latino people and Asian people that was all riding with black people. So I'm like, shit, instead of these picket signs, we need to have some arms too. Like, we need to protect ourselves out there. We don't let these motherfuckers just come and kill us. So, you know, hearing Dr. King and, you know, the whole concept of, you know, we want to do it the right way, but motherfuckers don't even respect you when you do it the right way. You got Kaepernick kneeling and shit, getting on his goddamn knees. Nigga, get off your knees, stand up like a man. So my shit is about standing on 10 toes, standing like a man. So that's how I came up with the verses to The Other America, so I can not talk at my people, but speak to my people. West Side. So Cali nights, you know, I used to drive Uber, right? And I used to drive through all these little enclaves in Los Angeles that I've never been in. I would have rides and, take people over Palos Verdes and all these, Newport Beach, all these little pockets of LA that's just beautiful. I'll be all in the hills, Hollywood Hills, Malibu, back road of Malibu and shit that I've never drove myself, but I would take these people. So literally on these Uber rides, I would be playing my instrumentals and getting concepts as I'm driving because, the people don't give a fuck, they on their phone anyway, whatever. And I'd be like, that beat spoke to me about, it was just telling me LA, it was telling me California, because I've been up and down the coast of Cali. And it was just giving me that West Coast feeling like, I need to talk about where I'm from. Like, I'm not like a regular LA rapper who wanna sound like they from motherfucking Detroit or the South or New York. No, I like sounding like I'm from LA. I love LA. This is Crenshaw District. I love it. So I really want to put that emphasis in the music and on this song. So during this time, I'm writing my album and, I'm not really getting the love I feel like I should be getting from the ladies, you know what I'm saying? And I got people saying, why you still doing this rap shit, man? You should be doing this and this. Niggas always trying to tell you what to do and they ain't even doing nothing for themselves. So nigga, I don't hear you, nigga, at all. Nigga, I don't see you either. So I'm doing my thing. So that was how the first verse came about. And the second verse came about because of my lady. She's natural. She got that natural hair and shit. She fly. She always be telling me, when to come see her and when it's time to bring it in and all that. And she loves some goddamn In-N-Out burger, y'all. She will. I can get through an argument with her if I bring her back some In-N-Out. Motherfucker, one slice of cheese, toasted bread, cheese sandwich shit with the spread. She eat that shit. I'm cool on it, but she loves some In-N-Out. So, as long as I bring her back some In-N-Out, it's all good. Fuck what I did. It's all good. So, yeah, that's how the second verse came about. You know what I'm saying? I want to include her. I still want to talk about no random girls or some made up woman or something like that. I kind of talk about what's really going on in my life at the time. And I just kept LA in my heart, and then my boy Nip had passed, so, doing for the brothers that ain't here, that line, for the homies that ain't here, that was inspired by him. Because, all we do out here is hustle it. We hustle, we like money, we like pretty girls, and we like to stay on our motherfucking square. That means stay in our meditation or whatever spiritual power we attach to, we try to really stay in that pocket. But Cali Nights, man, it's a beautiful record. It's my favorite record, really, because I can just zone out to that. It makes me zone out and just think about all my failures and how I overcame them, really. I'm built off failures, y'all. Like, I'm built off of it. Nigga hit his face constantly. So it feels good to not be doing nothing stupid and, actually living in my truth and not all over the place. Not fucking 100 bitches, just one lady, taking care of family, working, just keeping a very square life. That's what works for me, and it's a beautiful thing. And that's how I was able to create this beautiful album for you. I got a record called J.O.B., Just Over Broke. And it's about hustling every day. You live in LA, it's this high-ass rent high as giraffe pussy. Not only rent, but just the lifestyle that, all the fucking bills in LA. We're not in Texas, where we got a mansion and it costs $350. Now, you can't live like that here. We have to pay high-ass shit. And y'all shit out there is better it looks better, but we paying for this weather, okay? We paying for no bugs and shit and the bright sky, pretty much. But yeah, man, so J.O.B. is about, even if you do have a job out here, you have to hustle. You gotta keep multiple streams of income coming in just to survive out here. And if you wanna thrive out here, you better be doing a little bit of everything. So, it was, when I heard the track, it reminded me, what I thought when I heard the track? I thought, how would Tupac rap on it? That was my initial thought. I had my concept of what I wanted to talk about, but I was like, how would Tupac rap on this stuff? And I don't know why I felt like that. I usually don't think of another rapper when I'm writing, but it's like Tupac jumped in my body and guided my pen. Literally, like, I literally wrote it like that, and I didn't mean to do his voice or nothing like that. It came out like that. So I was just like, I'm a huge, Tupac. Everybody who knows me knew I grew up on all his shit. And it just, the record just, especially that third verse, that shit came out like butter. I wrote that in literally like 5 minutes. It just spilled out. Whenever a song spills out, I already know what it's gonna be. And I was able to rap it the way I wrote it. As soon as it was not hard at all. And I really felt that shit. Like, I ain't got nobody backing me. There's nobody financing this project. There's no invisible hand behind me. This is all Just Love Music. It's all me and my girl, my co-CEO. That's it. That's it. That's it. So Just Over Broke is a dope record. It's a tribute to the God MC, Tupac. And I thank him for inspiring me to do this record, because I literally felt like he was standing right over me, or definitely in my hand, as I was penning that out. And so I love that record as well. It's just, that's real close to my heart. That record is definitely real close to my heart.
What else?
I have an album out right now titled 9, The UnderDog God. And let me say this, I've been catching a lot of heat for my album cover. The reason why I don't go back and forth with anybody about my album cover is because if you're saying something negative about it, it shows me you haven't studied enough to know what the symbols mean. The symbols on the book is life, prosperity, health. You listen to the album, I don't kill one person on the album. I'm not talking about anything that's gonna, you can let your baby hear it. Besides from a few cuss words, there's nothing on that album that is talking negatively about the community or mankind, period. So everybody who has something ill to say about the cover, do a little more research and understand your symbols. Since that's out the way, I got an album titled 9, The UnderDog God. 9 is my numerology life path number. Underdog, I've been an underdog my whole life. God, I am made in the image of who? God. There you go, that's the title. It's on all streaming platforms. Make sure you share it. Make sure you like it. Make sure you listen to it, and then listen to it again. I got videos and all type of stuff coming y'all way. So thank you for watching this. Stay tuned. I'm Hassan Haze, and I love y'all.